Hey there, welcome to the newsletter exclusive video, the Broke Millionaires Club. And you get this video and no one else gets to see it. And today what I'm going to talk about is a little bit about these three books and why are they the greatest books that I've ever read in my life. And I'll start with the first one. And that is called Meeting the Shadow. And the authors are Connie Zweig and Jeremiah Abrams. And so shadow work, if you haven't watched my previous videos on it, shadow work is basically working out those parts of your character that you sort of deny or suppress, or that you're ashamed of, or that you're disgusted by, the parts of your character that you really don't like. And that's why Carl Jung, who's the guy who sort of invented the term shadow, talked about it as a shadow, which is like typically your shadow's behind you and it's in the dark. So you don't really see it. You push it to the background. You don't really like it, or you just, basically you weren't allowed to be that way when you were a child typically. And as you're growing, so you kind of parked those parts of you in the background. And so what happens to you as you grow older is those parts are very natural to your being and they want to be, excuse me, this is unedited, so you're going to get those. I got another word. Excuse me. Whew. Anyway, what happens with the shadow parts, those parts that you bury or you deny, is that as you age, they want to come out because they're part of you. They've just been shut away because it was not appropriate for them to be around. So it could be things like anger. It could be things like, being vulnerable, being, how would I say, what were ones for me? So yeah, vulnerability. Couldn't show weakness when I was a kid at all. So, you know, I presented, still do sometimes, like a sort of like a tough guy image or this very abrasive front, because that was not how I get accepted. That's how I fought people off, basically. And so the softer parts of me were sort of pushed down. And so as you get older, those want to come out, they want to be seen, and they're part of you. And so they'll start to, you know, come out in ways that are not necessarily good, or you'll start to just not be really emotionally stable unless you sort of welcome these parts of you back. So that's a long explanation, but really this book is like 50 different short essays, call them, stories, whatever, about shadow work and what it is from a whole bunch of different authors, including Carl Jung, Robert Bly, Joseph Campbell, Harville Hendricks. What are some other? M. Scott Peck is another name that's good. Ernest Becker, brilliant, genius. Ken Wilber, another one. So what it does is all of these people, and here it is right here, talk about shadow work from their perspective. So it really gives you like the most holistic, and when I say holistic, I mean from every sort of angle. You get to see it in all ways, what shadow work is. So it allowed me to really understand the things that are part of my character that are like creeping up in the background and causing me problems in my regular life. And it happens for everyone. And so this whole like individuation process that Carl Jung talks about, self-actualization, all of these things require shadow work. In fact, becoming like a functional adult requires shadow work and dealing with these sort of parts of you that you don't like and that you want to suppress. And by doing that, you gain self-awareness, which helps you as an adult. And you're just allowed to be more calm and more aware in the world and more able to accept who you are and therefore who others are. And so that's why I love this book, because shadow work was really difficult for me to understand in the beginning, but going through that book really, really just allowed me to see it from all angles. And and get a better grasp of it so that I could do shadow work and work with other people and do shadow work with them and in groups and stuff like that. Because I do, just in case you don't know, I've been doing men's work. I work with guys in groups and joined men's work almost 10 years ago and then became like a leader, facilitator, and done conscious relationship training with the same guy, Phil T. Misselberger, who started the men's group, the men's work that I'm in, which is the Ark of Brotherhood. And this conscious relating, there was also lots of shadow work there. And so it enabled me to lead men, and which I've been doing for like 10 years now, and help them with their shadows, help them with their purpose, help them to really sort of align who they really are deep down with the world and get what they want out of the world. So these books have all helped, but the experience working with men has also helped as well. And the next one, which you might have seen recently, is called Facing the Dragon, Confronting Personal and Spiritual Grandiosity by Robert L. Moore. And Robert Moore and I think it's Gillette were famous for this book called King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, which in inner work or in men's work is very foundational because those 4 archetypes, which Jung talked about as well and kind of introduced in the early 1900s, are the basic raw components of masculinity. And if you look at, queen, warrior, magician, lover, those are the 4 basic archetypes for women as well. But on the men's side, the king, warrior, magician, lover archetypes are really informational and like good to understand conceptually to see where we're embodying the king, being a warrior in life, not just going out and fighting. That's not it at all. It's like taking action. The magician, strategizing, planning, making stuff work, bringing raw materials together, almost like an alchemist, but in real life. And then the lover, of course, is the creative, the artist, the one that has intimate relationships, not the one, but the part of you that is intimate and has intimate relationships. So this author also did this one called Facing the Dragon. And the dragon is unconscious grandiosity, kind of like narcissism. But what he really does is he digs in at the core level and explains how most of us in our modern culture fall prey to various forms of unconscious grandiosity or like mini gods or like narcissism, where it actually makes us miserable and makes us less able to sort of operate smoothly in society and have good relationships. And so this was I've read it twice and I'm on the 3rd read already, and I just got it like a month ago. And this stuff is groundbreaking. It's a little bit like a textbook, but it's easier to read than a textbook. And also his references to other books are just ridiculous. He probably references 100 other books just in this. This dude is a brilliant genius, Robert Moore. And the last one, The Beast, is The Denial of Death by Ernest Becker. And really, this book blew my brain out of the back of my head. But this is not for everyone. This is a beast, and he shreds every sacred gem we have in order to dig down into the core fears, psychologically speaking, that humans have in our guts, the fear of death, the fear of life. He even gets down to the bare bones of saying that our entire character is a lie built to help us survive the crazy world, but not just the world that's crazy that we live in, but the fact that we don't know anything. We don't know how we got here. We don't know how the world was created. We don't know what our purpose is. We literally know zero, and we create our personality based on like the raw materials inside us and our mental functions and how they can deal with the outside world. And so talk about a deep, deep insight into the human psyche. This is it. And this is not for everyone. So I would say that if you are a little bit depressed or have been for a while and you haven't found your way through that, this Denial of Death might be a little bit, this fly loves me, a little bit over the edge for you. But if you're daring and you love digging in the mud and really getting under the hood and seeing what the crazy things that the human psyche does, this is like my favorite book of all time. So there you have it. Denial of Death, Facing the Dragon, Meeting the Shadow. All beasts within their own right. And yeah, if you want to dig into those, have at it. They will change the way you think about yourself and the world. That's it. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for being a subscriber. And I'll see you in the next one.